The Niagara Pump House Arts Center is excited to present their newest exhibit, Beauty and Resilience.
I read a lot of a Jesuit priest named Henry Nouwen, who's also an author, and Mary Oliver, who's an American poet. And they talk a lot about the fragility of flowers, but also the strength of them. And I guess as I'm aging, I just kind of feel like there's something really there that's strong, symbolically, and that has to do with flowers. And so I like the idea of following a flower from beginning to the end and just seeing how the colors change. And so I have like flowers that are like budding in my studio, but also flowers that are like really vibrant, and then ones that are sort of near the end of their life drying. And I just think it's kind of fascinating. It's a very simple concept, but it's also very profound.
Petra believes there is beauty at each stage, from bud to when the flower dies.
I love painting, and I know that a lot of people don't know how or can't, and so I really feel like honored to be able to share something that I can do that they might not be able to. And so I hope that they come away feeling like they saw something different or they were touched in some way emotionally.
Having already participated in 3 exhibitions this year, Petra intends to take a short break and then return to the studio to continue painting.
Really excited to get back into the studio because I feel like I'm going to take this a little farther now and sort of do some of these opaque, like the painting behind me has some opaque areas instead of all the transparencies that are happening. I'm interested in doing that as sort of a juxtaposition, but also just some added interest in the paintings themselves.
Petra describes the way she paints as an emotional response to the subject and the paint.
They're all on wood panels, and the wood panels have been primed. And then what I do is I work with a lot of water. So I'll start with some watercolor and some water-soluble graphite. And so you get all these really interesting lines and textures in transparent layers. And then I'll add some inks and some gouache, which is a sort of an opaque watercolor. And then when everything's dry and I'm satisfied with it, I coat it with some UV varnish. So the colors will never change. I painted in encaustic for a long time, which is painting with wax. And this is sort of similar because there isn't a lot of control sometimes. And so I like that. I like letting go. I like the painting itself in a sense. And so with the trees, it worked. And this works even better with this medium. And I don't know anyone else who paints this way. I think it's sort of like watercolor, but it's not. And yeah, it's a little different.
Beauty and Resilience will run at the Niagara Pump House Arts Center until May 30th. In Niagara on the Lake, you're watching The Source.